Are you feeling completely overwhelmed by crushing Medicare costs and maybe, just a little intimidated by the confusing digital bureaucracy of government forms? If you're nodding your head right now, trust me, you are absolutely not alone. Trying to navigate healthcare expenses, it can literally feel like a full-time job. But what if I told you there's a clear digital pathway to unlock some massive financial relief?
Just take a look at this number, $12.65. According to the official 2026 guidelines, if you qualify for what we're talking about today, that is the absolute maximum out-of-pocket cost you're going to pay for any covered prescription drug. Imagine the relief of knowing your medication costs are capped that low. That's the real power of the programs we're exploring today.
So welcome to The Explainer. Today, I'm going to be your personal guide to finally securing the financial relief you have definitely earned. We're breaking down exactly how to apply for Medicare Savings Programs online. And look, this explainer is designed specifically for beginners. So if you aren't super tech savvy, seriously, don't worry about it. I've got you covered step by step.
Okay, let's just dive right into this. We're going to conquer this mountain of paperwork in a very logical order. First, meeting the programs, then preparing your application, the online steps, tracking your status, overcoming common roadblocks, and finally, taking action.
All right, kicking things off with Section 1, Meet Medicare Savings Programs.
I really want you to reframe how you think about these. These programs, they aren't a handout. They're a vital lifeline designed specifically to lift the heavy burden of Medicare premiums and cost sharing right off your shoulders. Now, they're funded by the federal government, but they're actually managed locally by your state's Medicaid agency. There are three main tiers you need to know for 2026. First up is QMB, the Qualified Medicare Beneficiary Program. If your individual income is under $15,960 a year, this pays your Part A and B premiums plus your deductibles and coinsurance. It's huge. Next is SLMB, for incomes up to $19,152, which covers your Part B premiums. And finally, the QI program covers Part B premiums for incomes up to $21,546. Oh, and notice that standard $9,950 individual asset limit across the board? Yeah, we're going to talk more about how states handle that specific limit a little later on.
But here's why this matters so much. Qualifying for any of those three Medicare Savings Program tiers triggers this amazing automatic bonus. You are instantly enrolled in the Part D Extra Help Program. That's the low-income subsidy that slashes your prescription drug costs down to that $12.65 maximum we talked about earlier. It is basically a 2-for-1 benefit.
So, let's move into Section 2, preparing your online application.
Think of me as your digital Sherpa here. Before we actually climb this mountain, we need to make sure your gear is packed. Getting organized before you click apply is absolutely the secret to a stress-free experience. I'd actually recommend you take a screenshot of this list and gather these core items right now. You're going to need your Social Security and Medicare cards, a state-issued photo ID, and proof of address, like a lease or a utility bill, to confirm your state residency. You also need proof of income, which could be pay stubs or your Social Security award letter, and proof of assets, like recent bank statements or vehicle titles. Having all of this right there on your desk prevents the online system from timing out while you're frantically rummaging through a filing cabinet.
Next, let's do a really quick tech check. To securely manage your digital paperwork, you don't need to be some IT wizard, but you do need three basic things: a stable internet connection, a modern web browser, and an active email address. That email is absolutely crucial because it's how you'll set up your secure state portal account and actually receive updates on your case.
All right, on to Section 3, the online application steps.
So, you've got your documents, your internet is good to go. Now it is time to actually start the application process. And please, don't let the bureaucracy intimidate you. We're breaking this down into a super simple action plan. Here is your 1, 2, 3, 4 chronological guide. Step 1, you choose your pathway, and we'll cover what that means in just a second. Step 2, you create a secure account with a username and password. Step 3, you follow the Smart Logic questionnaire. Basically, this just means the online form adapts based on your answers, so you don't have to awkwardly skip past pages that don't apply to you. And Step 4, you hit submit, and this is critical, guys, you save your application ID number.
So, the crucial point here is choosing the right pathway. Because Medicare is federal, but these savings programs are run by your state's Medicaid, you actually have two choices. You can use the direct state pathway, which means going straight to portals like your Texas benefits or the NY State of Health. This usually means faster local processing. Or you can use the federal proxy pathway by applying for extra help directly on the Social Security Administration website. The SSA will automatically redirect your data to your state. It acts as a protective filing date, though your state will probably contact you a bit later for just a few more details.
Which brings us to Section 4, tracking your application status.
Okay, so you've hit submit, you have your ID number. Now what? Let's look exactly at what happens behind the scenes and break down this timeline so you know exactly what to expect. Think of it like a chain reaction. An application is submitted on March 5th. That immediately triggers a 45-day processing window. Now, even if the state is totally backlogged and doesn't officially award the benefit until, say, June 8th, those benefits are often retroactive. Once the systems update, you get your savings, and it covers you going backward to when you were first eligible.
Just to set some realistic expectations for you, under federal guidelines, state Medicaid agencies are required to process your application within 45 days. However, in states facing heavy application volumes or huge backlogs, that timeline can occasionally be extended to 60 days. So patience is definitely key here, but you aren't completely in the dark during that wait.
Because you can track your progress digitally without ever having to wait on hold on the phone. Modern portals like BenefitsCal out in California or the NY State of Health, they have really great digital dashboards. Some states, like Texas, even have mobile apps where you can just punch in your application ID for a real-time status check. Oh, and definitely be sure to opt in for texts and email alerts so you know the exact second a decision is made on your case.
Let's move into Section 5, overcoming common roadblocks.
I want to shift to a slightly more protective tone right now because there are a few hidden hazards on this trail that can honestly stop your application dead in its tracks if you aren't careful. If you decide to use that federal proxy pathway through the Social Security website, you're going to encounter Form SSA 120. Pay very, very close attention to question 15. The form asks if you consent to sharing your data with your state's Medicaid agency. It literally says they will send the info unless you tell us not to. Guys, do not opt out. If you check the box telling them no, your application stops right there and your state will literally never even know you applied.
Another major roadblock is assuming the rules are exactly the same everywhere. Because Medicaid administers this locally, state rules vary wildly. For instance, New York has completely eliminated the asset test for these programs. Awesome, right? But in California, starting in 2026, they are actually bringing back an asset limit of $130,000 for individuals. You absolutely must verify your specific state's rules regarding asset tests and income calculations so you don't get tripped up at the finish line.
And finally, Section 6, take action and apply.
We've mapped out the route, we've packed your gear, and pointed out the pitfalls, so here is your final action plan so you can start this process today. Step 1, check your 2026 income against those limits we talked about. Step 2, gather those core documents like your ID and bank statements. Step 3, choose your path and apply either via your state portal or ssa.gov. Step 4, do not forget question 15. You have to consent to share your data. And Step 5, make sure you use your digital tools to track your status online.
Now, as a quick professional reminder, this explainer provides general guidance based on official source material. Healthcare rules can be super complex and highly specific to where you live, so please be sure to consult official resources like Medicare.gov, your state Medicaid office, or a professional advisor for personalized assistance regarding your unique financial situation.
So I want to leave you with this final thought. Which piece of paperwork are you going to track down first today to unlock your Medicare savings? Is it going to be your Social Security award letter? Your bank statement? Take that first small step right now. And hey, please drop a comment below sharing your experience or any questions you have. Let's build a real community of support here. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer and best of luck with your application.